Moyes showed me Lanzini. If you score an individual wonder goal, like, we didn't even see him for the 2 games after Lanzini. He was on the bench and didn't come on. And that was his reward for scoring a screamer against Spurs. So scoring a not so good individual goal against Sheffield United doesn't guarantee you a start, because he just doesn't. He can't play the role that Antonio does.
He's not useless.
I mean, I still don't think he played the system very well today.
A special treat for you today, or maybe more of a punishment. Depends how you look at it, I guess. But basically, I've got a clip from one of our Patreon videos. And what happens is, after each match, myself and Geo, immediately after the game, we press record and we go and record our match review. It depends whether we won or lost, whatever. We either joyously celebrate. Actually, I don't think we've ever joyously celebrated. But or we let off a bit of steam. We have a moan, we have a celebrate, whatever the case may be. And then after we finish that, we go and record our player ratings video for Patreon, which is exactly what it says on the tin. It's a video where we rate the players. We rate them out of 10, and then we explain why we've given them that rating. We don't always agree. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Sometimes the marks are close, sometimes the marks are miles and miles apart. But anyway, we like to. They're quite enjoyable videos because we're more measured by that point. We've already let off the steam. Anyway, after the Sheffield United game, we did exactly the same. And we got into a little bit of a conversation about Sebastien Haller, which, as you'll see from the title, is what this video is all about. And I'm going to show you that segment from it, because we had quite a lot to say, to be honest. And, well, to be fair, we had quite a lot to say about David Moyes. We had quite a lot to say about Masuaku as well. Quite a lot to say about Declan Rice as well. But anyway, we're not dealing with that. We're just dealing with Sebastien Haller. So I just want to play you the clip. It's mostly Geo talking. That's just what happens on these videos, you see. And there you go. I don't want to preempt what he's going to say too much, but it was really interesting, given the comments after the game, and sort of trying to guess how people would react to Sebastien Haller, because I think we're just putting off the inevitable, put it this way. I don't think he's going to fit in at West Ham. I can't see any. I'm really struggling to see any way that it would happen. The only way that I could see Sebastien Haller being a success long-term at West Ham was if we reverted to play to 2 up front. Now, this is another video for the future, but David Moyes has given some indications that he might be prepared to change formation at some point, not just to facilitate the 2 up front, but it's something he might look to do anyway. I'm unconvinced by that. I think David Moyes likes the 3-5-2 or the 5-3. Sorry, the 3-5-1. Whatever you know what I mean. The 5 at the back. Aaron Cresswell was a centre back. That sort of thing. One geezer up on his own, running around on his Jack Jones. I think he likes that formation. And the running around on your Jack Jones formation does not suit Sebastien Haller, and that's why I think he will be off. David Moyes, as I've said before, will say all the right things, but as soon as Antonio comes back, wait, off you go, and he'll ditch him. He will ditch him. I think he's going to look for somebody else more keeping with his style of play in January, and I think for that reason Sebastien Haller will be off. I don't particularly blame Sebastien Haller. In fact, I don't blame him at all. Quite frankly, we bought a player who was operating in a front three with lots of attackers, and we've taken him and brought him into a system where we rarely sometimes have no attackers. You know, it just doesn't suit his style of play. Gone from a 3-pronged attack to a 1-pronged. It's a 1-pronged attack. It's just a spike, isn't it? 1-pronged. So he's gone from a 3-pronged fork, to a knitting needle attack. And it's not working out for him at all. I feel a bit sorry for him. I don't blame David Moyes either. David Moyes didn't sign him. Because that's a good question. Would David Moyes have signed Sebastien Haller? I think not. I don't think he would have done it at all. Anyway, so I was just having a little look, and did you know Sebastien Haller is spelt? It's not spelt in the traditional sense. It's not A-N, it's E-N at the end. And I've seen a couple of anagrams in his name, and I think they tell the future. Seriously, we're going to get to the clip in a minute. We'll have to humour me on this. Do you know that one of the anagrams for Sebastien Haller, I wonder if I'm clever enough to get that to go across the screen. We'll see how good my editing is. You're either just going to see my finger doing that across the screen, or some words will appear. We'll see. An anagram of Sebastien Haller is breathless alien. Nothing particularly profound there. Apart from maybe that explains why he don't run around a lot. Because he's breathless. He's probably not an alien, but he's breathless. This one I really like. Sorry, lesbian leather is another one. I don't think that's profound at all. I just find it quite amusing that Sebastien Haller, an anagram Sebastien Haller, is lesbian leather. I'm assuming he's not a lesbian. I'm assuming if he was, he probably doesn't do it clad in leather. Anyway, here's another one, a real blitheness, which is funny because blithe means to be exuberant and to be joyful, which takes you onto his goal celebration. Because, of course, there's not much blitheness going on with Sebastien Haller. Now, a lot of people are trying to suggest that it's fine, that's just the way he is. Don't believe it, discount it. He had the right ump after he scored. Okay, Geo made the excellent point. He scored for the Ivory Coast and he was running around all over the place. Scored the week before for the Ivory Coast, okay? Or that week, maybe. That was a big celebration. This was very much a puffing out of the chest. Look, told you, there you go. That's what happens when you give me the ball. That's what happened in a goal celebration. There was no blitheness though. There's two more though. Number one is the resaleable sin. That is an anagram. The resaleable sin, which gives you a clue to suggest we're going to sell him. But the real one, his rent saleable. Now, if that is not a prediction, I don't know what is. What's that mean? It means we're going to loan him out and then we're going to sell him. The clue is all in the name. I am very, very sad to report, unfortunately, before we go and listen to the clip from myself and Geo talking, that Moussa Dembele threw up nothing usable at all in the anagram generator.
But look, just based on today's performance, I give him a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, the thing with that goal is, Moyes showed me Lanzini, if you score an individual wonder goal, like, we didn't even see him for the 2 games after Lanzini. He was on the bench and didn't come on. That was his reward for scoring a screamer against Spurs. So scoring a not so good individual goal against Sheffield United doesn't guarantee you a start, but I do think it throws a spanner in the works for Antonio. I'm going to give him a 7 as well, but it's just every game though, there's almost like he's splitting the fan base's opinion. I already know there'll be people that'll say Alier scored a wonderful goal but he was crap overall. I know that. There might be people watching this that think that. And there'll be others that says, hang on, man of match. Alier was man of match night. Fantastic goal. All of play was pretty good. It just depends what you want to see and what you look for in a striker in that, I guess. And in David Moyes' system, he probably got a 5 tonight, Sebastien Haller. 4. Because he just doesn't... He can't play the role that Antonio does. But in terms of an individual performance and a Sebastien Haller performance, it's probably an 8. Because he's done what he's supposed to do, which is just score. He's set up so check. He was a big toe away from scoring in the first half, and he brought it down well. And the defender just nudged it, and the keeper reacted really well to come out and smother it at his feet. Another day, gets away with that. He sticks it in the net, and then that...
But this is it, Gio. This is it, and this is why I rally against it. Because... I understand people are frustrated, but people throw comments out there like Sebastien Haller is useless. You can't have a debate from there. He's not useless. He clearly has some decent technique. You know, as you say, clutching it out the air, the header through, look at the finish. He has technique. He's not useless. If you just say he's useless, we wasted 45 million and he can't kick a football, you can't have a debate about it. You can't debate the finer points, and I hear too much of that. And the truth's probably somewhere in the middle of today. You know, was he man of the match today? No, he wasn't. Is he useless? No. Okay, but this is what we've got at West Ham. The debate and the place that debate has to be held is within the confines of the system and within the confines of the manager he's playing for. That is it. And I think you'll find that the answer to both those is the same. Which is basically people say he's useless, he needs to go. Well, actually, the end result of us saying he can't work in the system is he probably needs to go. But let's not pretend it's because he's absolutely shite. That's not the case.
Yeah, it's a funny old one. And I still don't think he played the system very well today, Alier. But he's never going to. I think there was at times towards the end of the game, we cleared it into the channels. And Alier did not move. He was walking. And I seen Solchek at one point look at him, put his arm up to the point at the ball saying, chase it, and Ali looked at him as if he had no chance. I'm not running after that. That's not A, I'm knackered, and B, that's just not what I do. You know, even when he chases down the goalie, it's a half-hearted jog. At one point, Ramsdale had it on his weaker foot, his left foot. I think if Valio ran, he might have had a chance of getting it, but he didn't. He just jogged, and Ramsdale was able to take that extra. Because whenever you go to kick it with weak foot, you sometimes need half a stride extra, don't you? You almost hesitate, you almost go like stutter to do your run up. And Ramsdale had that about him. I just think Valio was there, you know, he'd been able to do that, and you would have probably cleared it, but it was sliced out for a throw in or something. Instead, you got a nice clean connection on it and belted it down the park, and you just thought Antonio would have ran it a little bit quicker there. I just feel I still feel sorry for Ali. I feel even more sorry for him tonight because he scored a goal, done some decent bits, and he's not even guaranteed to start the next game. If that was any other player in any other position in our team been starting, I mean, people were saying Ben Rama must start the next game after coming on and getting an assist, never mind a goal, but also conceding a penalty at the end of the pitch. He almost threw the points away. But that's enough to start. Now, that might be enough to start, but this guy's just gone and scored the match-winning goal, done a few other impressive bits, but it's still not enough to start. And the reason is because it doesn't suit the system. We're going to have the same issue against Villa, where at times the ball goes into the channel. Sebastien Haller, he's not interested. The one time I did see him in the channel, Sebastien Haller was in the first half. He had it out on the right. No one in the box. Bowen was jogging in there. Fernandes was walking up the park because he thought, well, no point in me being in there. What am I going to do? He had a really nice touch earlier on, by the way, Haller for Soufal. Remember that? He was out on the touchline. He just swiped it with the outside of his right foot. Yes. Soufal made a run. I actually thought he missed it because he didn't play it quick enough. But he was actually almost waiting until the perfect moment, swiped it, boom. It was Bowen, sorry, because then Egan came and bashed him off the ball, I think, and Bowen was like, where's my free kick in the line? I was like, no, you're not having that, mate. But yeah, Haller it was really nice technique and stuff with the outside of his foot. He just flicked it to the side, took about 3 defenders out with one move. And I thought, there we go. There's the quality, because he's got that. He's got the quality. But listen, if you go get a fantastic jigsaw, doesn't mean you can take that piece out of that jigsaw and put it into the other jigsaw. It doesn't work. That jigsaw bit only fits that jigsaw, and I just don't think every game I've watched so far, I think he's done okay. I'm even more convinced he just doesn't suit what Moyes wants him to do. The Moyes will watch him today, and like I said, I think Moyes would rather anyone else scored that goal. Probably Bowen, actually, so he can keep Bowen in. But now Haller's got it, Moyes is probably thinking, now I'm probably going to have to keep him in, because if I bench him, the geezer's going to lose his head. He might as well not put him on against Villa if he's on the bench, because he's not going to want to be there. We saw against Wolves, he scored the header against Wolves and stood still. Again tonight, scored an absolute banger and turned around as if with that face on that said, told you. Anyway, Moyes, what are you giving him?
8.
8?
And there you have it. Those are our thoughts immediately after the game on Sebastien Haller. I can't quite change my opinion of it. I'm pleased he's done well. I really am. I want him to do well. I want to be a success at West Ham. Myself and Geo were extremely excited when we signed him. Very, very excited indeed. Okay? He's a good player. I just don't think it's going to work out for us at our club in the same way it didn't work out for Chicharito, in the same way it hasn't worked out for a lot of very good players. He doesn't suit our system. If you're waiting for David Moyes to play a system that suits Sebastien Haller, I think we're waiting a very, very long time indeed.